volume. Everything is good this morning. Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers would say. And I greet each and every last one of you all. As you come on, do me a favor, and I don't know if you can tap the screen and I can see if you're on. If you can hear my voice, tap the screen or however that thing go with a heart or something like that, so I can know that I'm getting through clearly. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is truly most definitely the day the Lord has made, and so we might as well rejoice and be glad in it. Today is Tuesday. It is a beautiful day in the city of New Orleans. It's 56 degrees. And if you're from another state or whatever, down here, that is cold for us, right? When they get down below 60 degrees, we like, they probably have on their the Ugg boots and all kind of stuff. And they have, but it is what it is. But greet each and every last one of you all in divine love. Do me a favor and share. Tag 3 of your friends and share this Tuesday's broadcast, because I want to talk about transformation. I may have talked about transformation many times, and every time I talk about it, there's something that is always different in every discussion. And so it's Transformation Tuesday. Well, Ramon, what are you talking about? I'm talking about transformation as it pertains to us, human beings. I don't care who you are, where you came from, what color you are, what religion you practice. It is a must that we all get to the point in life where we transform, right? Where we transform. Because oftentimes we as people, we have been systematically conditioned to having a mindset of change. A mindset of change. And when you have a mindset of change, what happens is you continue to go in a revolving door. When you have a mindset of change, you continue to go around and around in a circle. Why? Because when you change a thing, anything that can be changed can be altered down the line. People want to make changes in the beginning of the year, which will happen in less than 60 days. I want to change this about myself. I want to change that about myself. But at that same time, within 30 to 60 days, the thing which the individual wanted to change, they go back to what once was. And so therefore, I can always go to a biblical reference, if you will, if that makes any sense. But I need to dissect it, and I need to bring it home whereby you can understand why this was stated. And the Apostle Paul, formerly known as Saul of Tarsus, who was a murderer, who was a persecutor of anybody that talked about Christendom, anybody that talked about the Christ, anybody that talked about the Messiah, the Anointed One, or the Yeshua, anybody that talked about Emmanuel, he persecuted. He murdered them. And so therefore, on a Damascus road, this so-called guy Saul had got light shown upon him and said, "Why are you persecuting my people?" And from that moment, the scales fell off of his eyes. I'm just giving you a little background story. And that was in the book of Acts. Now you move from the book of Acts, the Acts of the apostles, of the disciples, who the apostles were formerly known as disciples of the Christ because they were there with him. We get to the book of Rome because Apostle Paul was able to bring out the gospel and carry the gospel further than what the disciples did, right? And so therefore his first mission is carrying the gospel to he's going to Rome. And so therefore he gets to the Roman church in chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. He said, "I beseech you therefore, brethren, that you present yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable." And he said, "Be ye not conformed to the things and the cares of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you have time to go back and research. Well, why did the Apostle Paul go to the Roman church and he tells them, say, bro, I see what you're doing, but I don't think that you should be similar doing everything what everybody else is doing. See, we as a people, we become accustomed to our environment. We start repeating what other people are doing. And so the Church of Rome, Romania, was doing the exact same thing as everybody else was doing. And so the Apostle Paul said, hey, he said, be ye not conformed to the things and the cares of this world. Another word, the word conform in the Greek means samorphos. Samorphos, meaning similar. He said, say, man, look, you don't need to be samorphos with everybody else doing. You don't need to be similar to what everybody else doing, right? But let God transform the way you think. Let God switch up the way you're thinking, right? He said, be ye not conformed, samorphos, similar to the things and the cares of this world where we are currently residing. But he says something very significant in that same passage. He said, but be ye transformed. Wait a minute. Why was he telling them to be transformed by the renewing of their mind? Transform, another word for transform is metamorpho. Metamorphi, where we get the word metamorphosis. He said the word metamorphosis, transformation, and what he was doing, he was comparing giving them a little breakdown of a butterfly, or the metamorphosis process that a butterfly goes through. See, a butterfly is not a better caterpillar. It's a metamorphosis. It's a transformation. See, when a caterpillar is developed and the egg, has the eggs, what happens is the eggs go through a process. 4 stages. The caterpillar with the larvae, the pupal, the pupal, and the butterfly. It's 4 stages. And so therefore, what happens is once the caterpillar goes through dirt in this little short lifespan, what happens is as it goes through dirt, it realizes within itself, say, wait a minute, I wasn't created to crawl around in dirt. And so therefore, a caterpillar, before it metamorphosizes, it has to get to a point of elevation. And when it gets to this point of elevation, when I was small, I probably destroyed many pupils, many cocoons, what we called it. I probably knocked off many cocoons off trees or gates or whatever. So what happens is once the caterpillar crawls up to a point of elevation, what happens is it begins to spawn its way upside down. And in that process, it begins to wiggle itself. As the caterpillar is wiggling, what it's doing is shedding its skin. It sheds its skin. It puts off the old self. And while it sheds its skin, the skin falls to the ground. Now, what happens is the caterpillar, the outer shell of it begins to harden. And so therefore, inside of the cocoon, it lies dormant for weeks to months at a time, sometimes 6 months. In the cocoon, we don't know what's going on inside, but scientists scientifically proven that inside of the cocoon, the caterpillar, what it does is it breaks itself down into cells. So if you want to destroy or bust open a cocoon prematurely, what happens is nothing but liquid would fall out. Because you heard the saying that old things have been passed away, all things have become new. So now the caterpillar literally digests itself to put off the old self to become the beautiful, sought after butterfly. And so the Apostle Paul goes to the Roman church. He goes to the people of Rome. He says, say, man, look, be ye not conformed to the things and the cares of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation needs to take place. In order for you to move forward in life, you got to put off the old man. You got to transform, as Optimus Prime said, transform and roll out. You can't go forward in life if you're doing the exact same thing that you used to do. Let me go a little deeper, right? Because we're living in a time where so many of us as a people, we go around and around in a circle without transforming. We go around in a circle in a chain format without realizing that transformation needs to take place. Let me go a little deeper. He said, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What is you talking about? The renewing of my mind. And so therefore what happens is, the Greek word for the word renewing of the mind is anakinosis, where anakinosis is what it means is about face, right? Anakinosis, what happens is, what that means is the English translation for that is to renew or renovation. Don't miss this, because this is Transformation Tuesday, but you can carry this on for the upcoming days, months, and years to come. The Apostle Paul told the people of Rome, hey man, look, you can't be similar to doing what everybody else is doing, but I need for you to transform your way of thinking. I need for you to make a complete about face and not do the exact same thing that you used to do, transform and roll out. But another thing that needs to take place is that a renovation, the renewing of the mind. Well, Ramon, what are you talking about? A renewing of the mind, a renovation of the mind. Well, after Hurricane Katrina happened in the city of New Orleans, there were a lot of houses that were destroyed. So not only were the houses destroyed, they were completely messed up. So what happens is, the price value of one of those homes before Hurricane Katrina probably was about $120,000, $150,000, $250,000. So after Hurricane Katrina came, what happened is that those houses was destroyed. The foundation of the houses was not destroyed, but the structure and everything of the building was destroyed. And so when Apostle Paul went to the Romans, he said, man, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, meaning that a renovation needed to take place. What happens is, in order for a renovation to take place, right, when you buy blighted property, you can buy a blighted property for about $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, right? And so when you invest, you buy that blighted property for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. And you take another $50,000, $60,000 and put into the blighted property that you just did, and you renovate it. What happens after renovation is that the house that was once formerly blighted now increases in value. So that house that you bought for $25,000, you put another $50,000 in it. You put a total of $75,000 in a house. After you renovated the house, now the house is worth $250,000. So the Apostle Paul was telling the people in Rome, say, bro, be not conformed to things and cares of this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? By the renewing, by the renovation of your mind. A renovation needs to take place. And this goes for each and every last one of us, one of you underneath the sound of my voice, including myself. When a renovation takes place in your life, you increase your value. Well, Ramon, what are you talking about? How can I renovate my life? How can I renovate my mind? Well, simple. Read some books. Go to the library, increase your value. Get you a mentor, increase your value. Go back to school, increase your value. The price then went up. The price goes up after you renovate your mind. The price goes up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And so I'm telling you on this Transformation Tuesday that in order for your value to increase in your life, it is a must that you renovate yourself. Renovate, let a renovation take place in your life. Increase your value by what? Going back to school. Increase your value by what? Going, read some books. Increase your value by what? Investing in yourself. G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle. Now that you know, what are you going to do with your no? Because the price doesn't went up. You got to increase your value. You got to let a renovation take place in your life. Because if not, You will continue to be on the market as blighted property where nobody will, and people will not give you your value or give you what your worth. People will try to lowball you because they don't understand your value. So in order for your value to go up, you got to invest in yourself. So that's my little kick for my little thing right there for Transformation Tuesday. My name is Ramon Carter. It's only my mission to get my people to transition from a mindset of change to a mindset of transformation. For me, it's applying kingdom principles. My kingdom principles that I apply to my life is reading God's word, studying God's word, meditating on God's word, praying and fasting. Reason why I said transition from change to transformation, because you will never see a butterfly transform back into a caterpillar. It's not possible. So if a butterfly can't transform back into a caterpillar, why is it that so many of you go back to doing the things that you used to do? Go back to doing the things where you're comfortable of doing. It is a must that you move forward. It is a must that you press forward. You can't continue living life with a changed mindset. It is a must that you step out of your comfort zone and do some things that you never did before to get to the place that you want to get. Sometimes you got to do something different to get some different results. That's my take of it. If God can do it for me, he can most definitely do it for you. The same thing that I'm telling you is something that I learned when I was incarcerated. I had to transform my mindset because the mindset that I had was a mindset of change, and so therefore it ended me to 10 years in prison. And I could never say this enough. Because of the mindset of change that I had, it landed me 10 years in prison, right? And it was in prison where my mindset began to transform. How? I began to read the books. Not only read the books, I began to study the books. And I didn't just pick up a Bible. I began to study every book possible. Read and study and meditate. Sun up to sundown. I had nothing but time on my hands. So that's what I began to do, was do my own research. I wanted to know about theology. I did my research about theology. I wanted to know about psychology. I did my research on psychology. I wanted to study the law. I had to do my research on law. And so once I got out of prison, because I studied that while in prison, I got a degree in psychology. I got a degree in criminal justice. I got a degree in Christian education. I got the bachelor's. I got the master's. I sought after the doctoral in Christian education, organizational leadership. So I'm not telling you pouring myself out to you of something that I don't know. I'm giving you information on the things that I do know because I went through the process in order to become the man that I am today. Right? I'm giving you the process. I'm giving you the steps. I just gave you a glimpse of the things that I had to endure, a glimpse of a process that I had to go through in order to be who I am today. I'm not the man that I used to be because transformation had to take place. And in order for you to go higher in life, transformation has to take place. How do you transform? When you transform your life, you can't hang around the people that don't want to go nowhere. You can't hang around people that don't want to. Let me tell you something. If people don't want to go higher, you can't hang around that circle. If you hang around people that don't want to push forward and go forward in life, you will get stuck. You can't hang around people that don't want to go forward. You can't hang around people that don't want to be on top and go higher. You can't be around people that don't want to do nothing, right? Because guess what? You have power to shift your own atmosphere. You have the power to shift your own atmosphere. And if you're around people that don't want to go nowhere, you're not going to go nowhere. If you are the smartest person in your circle, you're the dumbest person in the circle. What's going on, about the Jude? What's going on? If you're the smartest person in the circle, it's time for you to get out of that circle. You got to get around people that if you want to go somewhere, you got to get around people that's already did what you did, that's been where you trying to go. If you want to go higher, you can't be around nobody that don't want to go. This is what happens in mountain climbing. Where you're going, everybody is not destined to go where you're going. Watch this, because this is somebody gonna catch this. Everybody that's around you currently cannot go where you're going. As you go higher, people are going to fall off, right? That's a reason why pigeons can't soar with eagles. You understand? There's a reason pigeons cannot soar with eagles. When you're going up a mountain, the higher you go, the oxygen level changes. You understand? That's the reason why a pigeon can only go up so high. Because its nostrils are not built for the altitude. And so therefore, a pigeon can go this high, but an eagle can go higher. An eagle can go above the clouds. And the eagle can see the storm coming miles away. As you go higher, people are going to fall off. People going to fall off in your life. You understand? And guess what? The leeches going to begin to fall off. Reason why some people can't go higher is because they got so many leeches attached to them, and leeches drain you. Leeches suck blood out you. They drain the blood out you. And as you go higher, the leech is gonna have no choice but to fall off, right? Because a leech can't take the heat. A leech can't take heat. You understand? A leech can't take heat. People gonna fall off. They wasn't meant for you from the get-go. They weren't meant to be attached to you from the get-go. And so therefore they have no choice to fall off. And guess what? It's always sometimes the closest people that are draining you. It's always the ones that's draining you are blood related. Ooh. It's always the ones that's blood related that begin to drain you. I'm talking about siblings, aunties, uncles, cousins, and sometimes your own children, right? Because when they get a certain age, you did your thing, and they'll begin to drain you dry. They begin to drain you dry, and you wonder why you can't function, because your own children draining you dry. They grown, have their own lives, but they're still stuck, attached to the parent. They're still attached. And a parent trying to go forward, but their own children draining. I ain't talking about the little children. I'm talking about the adult children. Draining the parents dry. And the parent can't go because the parent can't live their life because the children are draining them dry. Oh. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Be not conformed to the things and the cares of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, by the renovation of your mind. When you know better, you eventually do better. You understand? I'm speaking from experience, people. I go from DOC to where I am. You understand? I had a DOC number, 10 years of my life in prison. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. 10 years. But I wouldn't take it back for nothing in the world. Because I learned who I was while I was in prison. That I'm a child of the Most High King. That I'm the head and not the tail. That I'm above and not beneath, the lender and not the borrower. That all of my needs are met before God. That I'm a carrier of God's presence. Everywhere I go, the atmosphere has no choice but to bow down and shift when I step in a room. That my name is being spoken of in rooms that I never stepped in. You understand? That I am of a royal priesthood. Before prison, I didn't know none of those things. You understand? but that I am of a royal priesthood. If God can do it for me, he can most definitely do it for you. I didn't know. I knew of the Lord. You understand? And everybody, you know, they have their own way of expressing their religion. I don't believe in religion. You understand? I believe in a way of life. Am I a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of the way. Right? Christianity is not a religion. Christianity is not a religion. I repeat. Baptist is a religion. Catholic is a religion. Methodist, Presbyterian, Lutheran is a religion. Islam is religion. Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Rastafarianism is a religion. You understand? Religion separates everything. That's why the world messed up now. When you know better, you do better. You understand? A way of life. Nowhere when the Christ, the Messiah, walked the face of this earth, where he said, go out there in the world separating his people in religion. None of the words that came out of his mouth spoke of religion. Nothing. Everything that came out of his mouth was speaking on love. Right? Do unto others as you have them do unto you. That was the words out of the mouth of the Christ. You understand? So, y'all have a wonderful, super fantastic day. My name is Ramon Carter. Anything you want to know about me, the link is in the bio. It's a link tree. They have everything. Everything that I just described is in one of my is in my third book, which is called The Power of Transformation: Applying 12 Kingdom Principles to Your Life. Those that link is in the bio. In digital format, probably about $4.99, I believe. The Power of Transformation: Applying 12 Kingdom Principles in Your Life. Based on my research, it's not a big book. It has a workbook that goes along with it, right? When you go through it, you'll understand the 12 principles, the 12 kingdom principles that help me be who I am today, right? You know, so y'all have a wonderful, blessed, super fantastic day. I got to get out of here. Peace and blessings.